morning, everybody, or else I should say good afternoon, and thank you for attending the very first webinar in our 2018 Exhibitor Preview Webinar Series, 3 easy-to-implement lean construction techniques presented by BuildUp. I wanted to let you know a couple things before the webinar starts. This is being recorded, and it will be available on our Congress website, lcicongress.org/2018, by COB tomorrow, so be sure and check that out as soon as you can. A copy of the slide deck will be available there as well, so also please be sure to check that out. You will be receiving a copy of the recording and the slide deck in an email again by close of business tomorrow. There will be a short question and answer period at the end of the presentation. Please feel free to answer questions throughout the questions throughout the presentation, but they will be answered at the end unless, of course, we see a question that is specific to a certain slide. So again, just to go over some short things, this presentation is being recorded. It will be available on the Congress website at lcicongress.org/2018, and you will be receiving a copy of the recording and the slide deck in an email by close of business tomorrow. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Felipe, who is going to be our first presenter. Thank you, Felipe. It's over to you.
Hello, my name is Felipe Engineer Manriquez. I am McCarthy Building Company's Lean Manager.
And hello, my name is Jean Adriano. I'm BuildUp's VP of Marketing.
Let's begin. This is what happened after I discovered Lean nearly 10 years ago. I got to practice Lean daily. People asked me to have me share my Lean successes, challenges, and training abroad. I partnered better with the Lean Construction Institute. Scrum became my favorite way to practice Lean in every project I do. I became a Lean passionista. Let's journey together and discover how stepping off from a problem leads to easy to implement lean construction techniques in 3 steps. A good place to start is with a problem. The starting step is a friendly warning. Warning: use of any shared steps will result in increased capacity. More time to improve, optimize, and coach others will be your problem. Step up on lean construction principles. Lean construction principles are lean principles. Most important and primary among the rest, respect for people. People transform ideas and materials into value. They are at the center of all business interactions. Value yourself first and extend it to others. Next, pool value from the customer. Customer-defined value needs to be understood by all team members. Know the definition of value from the customer's point of view. Also, any person or group receiving work in a value stream is a customer. Treat handoffs as customer interactions. Next, seek to create flow. Focus on processes and flow. Understanding value allows people to eliminate non-value-adding steps, which shortens the process and improves flow efficiency. One-piece flow is the ideal we should strive for in any project. Minimize and eliminate multitasking. It is a myth and disrespectful to our human character. Next, eliminating waste by a disciplined focus on what is of value. Stop doing the things that are not. More on this in a moment. Next, embrace a mindset of continuous improvement. Encourage experimentation. Learn from manageable failures. Fail is the first attempt in learning, and learning is how improvement occurs. Not sure how to start? Pick a process. Make a standard. Improvement upon standards leads to breakthroughs and innovations. Finally, optimize the system, not just the parts. A system has inputs, processes, outputs, and often feedback loops. Use lean tools and methods to help with tactical improvement efforts to benefit the whole project from the customer's perspective. Teams that continuously learn, identify value, and eliminate waste enjoy massive returns on their investment of efforts that translate directly into their business value. Recognition of waste in less than 2 minutes. A key concept in lean is waste, which can be identified as anything that does not add value to the customer. In lean, there are 8 types of waste. The first, transport, is all about unnecessary movement of work. For example, sequential process steps are not co-located, or files being transported from one location to the other. The second type of waste is inventory. Inventory is about holding information and material longer than required. For example, piles of unprocessed work, unread emails, or overstocked marketing materials. A third type of waste is motion. Motion is the non-value-added movements of people, such as unnecessary meetings or walking to the copier and printer. Waiting causes waste through delays or stoppages, waiting for instructions, waiting for the next production step, or simply running slow computers are all part of it. Another type of waste is overproduction. Unnecessary efforts producing work in excess or ahead of customer requirements. Think of printing paperwork before it's needed, or processing items before they're required in the next process. A sixth type of waste is overprocessing. Unnecessary activity due to complex processes and systems, such as too many approvals or an application form where the same data is used in different places. A defect is the effort involved in inspecting for and fixing defects such as data entry errors. The eighth type of waste is underutilized people. It covers aspects such as ignoring improvement ideas from people on the floor or restricting employees' responsibilities to make routine decisions. It's less than 2 minutes. Step up to limitless PDCA cycles. Fine wine isn't made in the first barrel. Use the scientific method framework made famous by William Edwards Deming, known as the PDCA cycle: plan, do, check, act, to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Plan a change or a test aimed at improvement. Do, carry out the experiment. Check the results. Study and reflect upon your findings. Act to adopt the change, abandon it, or repeat the cycle again. Step up to lean tech habits, or lean habits tech. 5 apps I use daily include texting, calendars, reminders, clock, and pictures. Always mobile and on the go, apply the lean principles daily to really make it all go. Lean Habits Tech is Apple and Droid agnostic. Texting to optimize communication systems. The single greatest way to improve any system is to increase feedback and communication. Optimize your team member communications with more frequent interactions that are quick and relevant. Use proper etiquette and emoji often to help convey tone. Calendars and reminders create personal flow. Remember, creating value requires the transformation of information or materials. Each of us needs time to make it happen. Block off calendar space with individual appointments daily for deep work. Don't accept meeting requests without agendas, and kindly ask others to share why you need to attend. Saying no isn't negative if your presence won't add value. Use reminders for quick tasks, 15 minutes or less, to stay organized. Meet commitments and help navigate to delivering more value to your partners and customers. The world is becoming ever complicated. Use the help that is in your hands. Clock and timing apps are continuous improvement measurement tools. My first question before embarking on improvement is, how long does it currently take? I also use timers to stay disciplined on work tasks such as email power hours. Set a timer for 60 minutes, work through email before lunch, and reward thyself with a good meal shared with friends. Pictures. They pull value from the customer. I don't guess well at what my customers value, so instead, I ask them with photos or video. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and my customers are never at a loss for giving me feedback on a photo or short video. Snapshots from BIM or physical mockups have saturated many conversations about what is really wanted. Now, for another time improvement lean tech, I turn this over to my friend Jean.
Thank you, Felipe, for that simple yet thorough explanation on lean. And this is where BuildUp can help with lean. A little bit of a background: BuildUp is the easiest to use punch list, task management, and inspection software for construction. BuildUp helps improve product quality, eliminate waste, reduce cost, and shorten construction timelines. And here are some examples of how BuildUp has helped with each of those lean principles. Mike Emmerlein, project manager at Lennar LMC, through the use of BuildUp as a punch list, has gained 25% back of his day. Jason Bohannon, QA manager at Greystar, who is using BuildUp for inspections, has cut his inspection time by 10 to 20% compared to the time that he was using another construction software. Rolando Jaime, project executive at Mill Creek, has achieved more focus on flow by reducing open issues and owners' walks from 30 issues down to 3. Mike Kleinman, a superintendent at Hoare, used BuildUp as a punch list to replace his 500 phone calls a week. With BuildUp, he sees everything in one report, and it takes half the time to create issues with BuildUp. And Rene Strapp, project manager at Avalon Bay, was able to optimize the whole using BuildUp. BuildUp was a big factor in enabling them to deliver the project 2 months earlier than expected. Now, let's do a deep dive on some practical applications on how to save time, eliminate waste, do things faster and easier, and work better. One of the most popular uses of BuildUp is for punch lists and inspections. When you log into BuildUp, you will see this user interface. From BuildUp's user interface, you simply navigate into the Units tile, select a building and a unit, and start adding tasks or issues on your punch list. It literally takes just a couple of seconds. Add an issue, assign a subcontractor to the issue. Here you can select if you are assigning a single sub, multiple subs, or a sequence. BuildUp is actually the only punch list software that allows you to add tasks and issues using sequencing of subs. Take a picture and simply save. When a task or issue is created, your subs will get automatic notifications of the issues assigned to them, as well as notifications on when the sequence of issues prior to theirs has been resolved. The project manager, project executive, or super is in the loop with everything, including email all the activities that are going on in the project. The activities tile show the most recent activity on the project. Example, there were 8 new issues open today, and you can see more of that here. So just to cement that example on how BuildUp gives you time savings and eliminates waste, for QA walks, for example, Jason Bohannon, Greystar's QA manager, would usually spend 15 to 20 minutes per unit on his QA walk. Because BuildUp is so easy to use, his time spent on QA walks has been cut by 2 to 4 minutes per unit. For a 600-unit building, that's about 20 to 40 hours of time savings. You can view project progress in the dashboard tile, and you can see the progress of the tasks and issues as well as progress on checklists. You can also go to the issues tile and use filters to see open, overdue, pending GC, pending developer, closed, and deferred issues. BuildUp can also be used to store and monitor your checklists, and even for inspection checklists. And last but not the least, users of BuildUp can automatically switch to Spanish translation, allowing you to seamlessly communicate with your subcontractors. So in ending, if I were to summarize BuildUp and Lean in just these 3 words, it would be easier, faster, and better. And in the words of our customer, Jake Dome, who's a project engineer at Focus Development, he says, "It helps with my sanity and the organization of everything. It makes everything so much simpler. I'm not wasting my time organizing the Excel sheet or printing stuff. BuildUp gives me more time to go around and do actual work instead of paperwork." Thank you for joining us today, and the floor is now open for questions.
Fantastic. Again, this is a fantastic presentation, and you've seen what it is that BuildUp can do. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the questions box, which is at the bottom of the long box on the right-hand side. So one of the questions that I have that came in is, does BuildUp have any integrations with other construction software or any other software in general? Hello?
You want to take that one, Jean, or
Oh,
Steve?
okay. I just wanted to be sure that you could hear me.
We can.
We can. Did you want to take that, Steve, or do you want me to? I'm sorry, I failed to introduce my colleague, Stephen Haskin, who's the VP of Operations at BuildUp, who's also with us on the call today, on the webinar today.
Yeah, I can take the question. So typically we do have integration right now with Procore. We have a backend API integration, and then tomorrow the next step is we're going to be integrating with a few other software such as Drone Deploy, Autodesk, Microsoft Primavera, and Microsoft Project and Primavera as well.
Fantastic. I think the next question is, this might be for Felipe. What results are you specifically seeing with teams that embrace lean with McCarthy?
Yeah, one of the things that we're seeing, and it's easy to identify teams that are involved and have a lean mindset. You can see them just hungry for improving and learning. We have teams that are using self-directed learning weekly in the form of lunch and learns. Those are some of the things that they do. So we have normal training that's scheduled throughout the year, depending on peer group. But some project teams that are really into the lean and the continuous improvement mindset are actually training each other. And they're bringing in sometimes people from the outside, sub-consultants or manufacturers, or sometimes they're doing study action groups with a different book or an article online, and they're just continuing to learn every single week. Those teams, we typically see their projects are on schedule or ahead of schedule, and we always see those projects making their margin goals and having satisfied customers.
Thank you for that. And I think this question is a little bit based on what Felipe said, and I don't know if this is a generic question. Exactly how do you think that BuildUp fits in with these lean methodologies to bring projects in on time and under budget?
So I can answer that. A while ago, we were going through sort of some customer case studies and some actual customers and how they had used BuildUp for some lean principles. So let's say, for example, Mike Emerline, who's a project manager at Lennar LMC, he used BuildUp as a punch list, and he gained back 25% of his day. So just by using a tool to simplify the tasks that he's doing, I think that, that's an application of lean principles. Let's say, for example, another example is focus on flow, where we had Mill Creek, and when they did their open issues, and when they did their owners walks, the open issues, they used to typically have about 30 issues, but by using BuildUp, the number of issues for their owners walks had decreased to about 3. So by using, and Felipe talked a little bit about lean tech, and in this world today, we're just so saturated with so many tools and so many applications that I think it's really important to figure out what tools are out there that we can use to be more lean, to be more efficient, to do things simpler and easier and better. And BuildUp's one of those tools, and as you could use it for a punch list or as an inspection software for task management, but those types of use cases, just using them to simplify a task or to cut time on a task or to eliminate waste, those are just some practical applications of how to use a tool like BuildUp and apply that to lean principles.
Fantastic. And I have a question here about subscriptions. When you purchase a subscription, how many users can use BuildUp at one time?
So that's one of the differentiators of BuildUp. They're actually, once you purchase a subscription of BuildUp, you actually get access. There are no limits to the number of users. It's unlimited usage. and unlimited users. So so that's what makes BuildUp very unique, because you can get everybody on the project, including your subcontractors. And if you're working with a developer, a GC, and subcontractors, all those 3 tiers are all working in BuildUp, and your communication with all those tiers is all documented within BuildUp. So you know, it's the only software that I know that that has, you know, unlimited seat licenses when you purchase a subscription. Steve, is there anything that you want to add to that?
No, I think you said it well. We are ideally including everyone in the project, so we don't want to limit the number of people that could potentially be using it. So the way that we price is on a per project basis, so that we can get everybody from architects, third-party consultants, owners, developers, down to the subcontractors involved in the project.
And Steve, you've actually touched on my next question, was what's the pricing model of BuildUp?
So our pricing is based off of a low percentage of the hard costs of construction typically, but it really depends on the type of project and the asset that we're working with, along with the duration of the project. Typically, we are a relatively cheap software that we see an average of about 1 to 2 basis points on the cost of construction all in.
And is there a particular way, and another question that I have is to run some type of report from BuildUp to show everything in one place and trends and things like that?
Absolutely. We have a built-in dashboard both on the website and available in our mobile app, where you can get a good zoomed out view of all of your different projects across your portfolio, so you can help figure out where to spend your time best and where to hone in on issues that may be potentially may have a potential cost effect on the project, or may affect people's ability to complete a project on time and keep everything in track and in a row.
I'd like to remind everybody, if you do have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the questions box, which is at the bottom of the long box on the right-hand side of your screen. Again, Felipe, I believe this is a question for you, and I guess Jean and Steve as well. Why do you think people are reluctant to embrace lean, and how do you think BuildUp would be able to help in this process?
Yeah, this is something that Jean and I actually were talking about this morning when we got together. It's why we gave the warning to begin the whole process with a problem. When people are working every single day, before they even learn about lean, and the same was true for me a decade ago, you don't know that there's even an alternative to work. You go to school, or you go to work every day, and you learn how to do your job on the job as you go. And some people are lucky and they get to have like really horrible experiences, and then those experiences spark them to put their head up and look for alternative ways to work. And that's what happened to me when I discovered lean about 10 years ago. I was working a lot, and my results were okay. I wasn't bad, but it wasn't sustainable. And the problem was actually my family getting bigger. With my son being born, I had one more person to share my attention with, and that was a big enough problem for me to make me look at alternative ways to work. And luckily, there were people within our organization that showed me the way, and it was lean. And just applying simple principles and understanding value from the customer's perspective just transformed how I work, and I gained back so much of my time, because it made me think about, is this valuable for the customer? Is what I'm doing now, is dialing the spreadsheet down to the 88th degree what my customer wants or needs or is willing to pay for? If the answer is no, then I can spend my time on something else that's more important for them. That's why I think that software tools like the ones we mentioned and BuildUp are so helpful when they're aligned with lean principles. They still have to be used in a meaningful way, because we can all use things ineffectively. So I think that's important, is to really have a problem. And Gene was sharing a story about, you know, one of their customers, of how BuildUp became so integral to their operations. I think it was a great story, Gene, if you want to share it.
Sure. So you were asking how BuildUp can help with something like lean. We had a customer, or we have a customer who was prior to using BuildUp, they had this problem or this pain point. They were slapped with, or the head of construction used to work for another company that was slapped with a $15 million lawsuit because of ADA and FHA compliance issues. And that really, you know, that problem was what caused them to change their behavior. $15 million is a lot of money, and really, you know, a very painful lesson. But that, you know, that experience was the turning point that made them, you know, that made them, well, number one, improve their FHA and their ADA inspection process. And because they put a lot of emphasis on ADA and FHA compliance, then they needed something to, you know, to record and to document everything. And that's where BuildUp came into play. And as they went through, you know, their ADA and FHA compliance, it would take them, you know, 15 to 20 minutes to do their inspections per unit. So if you're thinking about like a 600 unit building, that's a lot of time. But using a software tool like BuildUp, they were able to cut that from 15 to 20 minutes to about, you know, 10 minutes. And you multiply that by 600 units. That's about 20 to 40 hours saved on that QA inspection walk. So I think that, you know, something like BuildUp, like a tool like BuildUp would be able to help in terms of just being more efficient with time and eliminating waste. Why, you know, if you don't need to, why would you need to spend 20 minutes if you can spend 15 minutes with the same result? So I think, you know, it's as Felipe said, not until there's a problem would you really forcefully change. But I think also, you know, when people start to understand how easy it is to use a simple tool, then I think that also is helpful, where hopefully you don't need to wait for a problem to arise before you change what you're doing. And I think that's where BuildUp is very helpful to a lot of our customers, where you don't really, you know, when you start using it, it's just so easy and so simple that even if you have no tech background at all, you just know how to use a smartphone, you can use BuildUp. And I think that's one, you know, that if you're looking for something to implement that's easy and fast and no nonsense, then BuildUp is something that would be, you know, ideal and would be a good fit for your organization, where there's no training needed, not a lot of setup. You don't need to learn and understand a new software. You just download the app and you go.
Okay, we have time for one more question, and I believe, Gene, that it is in line with what you just said as far as training goes. You mentioned no training is needed, and you download the app and you go. Is there some sort of informational process that goes along with the app, customer service, things like that, groups or support? What exactly is available for the consumer along with BuildUp?
Sure. So when a new customer signs up for a project with us, we typically have a kickoff meeting, and that's where we sort of have everybody download the app and just show them how it's used. We place a lot of emphasis on customer support, because we believe that if you don't use it, then you don't really see the value of it if people don't use it. So we're very big on that kickoff meeting. We're very big on that, on customer support as well. We have We have customer support available for BuildUp. It's not, you know, it's not like other softwares out there where, you know, you're sort of, you have to read through a document. We recognize that some people in the industry, they need, you know, they need somebody to talk to. So we have, you know, we have dedicated customer support and account managers for our customers. Steve, is there anything that I was missing that you want to add to that?
Absolutely. And just to, I think you hit it pretty well, and just to further elaborate on that, this kickoff meeting that we come out and do, we'll actually go to the job site in person. We will attend a weekly subcontractor meeting, make sure that everyone has the app downloaded and they are able to answer any questions that people may have on the spot. And throughout the length of a project, we'll have a couple of in-person visits at the job site to really make sure that everyone is comfortable reaching out to us using the app and really making sure that everything is working smoothly.
Well, fantastic. We do need to wrap up the webinar right now. Please feel free to put any last minute questions that you have in the questions box. BuildUp will be following up with you directly. Please feel free to visit them at booth number 12 if you will be at our LCI Annual Congress in October, the 15th through the 19th in Orlando, Florida. For more information about that, please go to lcicongress.org/2018. Again, this has been recorded. A copy of the recording and the slide deck will be up on that same website. Please click on the BuildUp logo and you will be taken directly to that recording and that slide deck. It will also be sent to you in an email by close of business tomorrow. We thank Felipe, Jean, and Steve for presenting for us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next exhibitor preview webinar. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.